Okay, greetings everyone. This is First Centurion 753 with the next episode of Make the Ukraine Great Again. Again, there are specific goals that I'm going for in this episode. I discussed it in the last one. If you're interested, you can check out the description down below. One of the goals is going to be to retake the Crimean Peninsula. And in order to do that, we are going to have to deal with this big rival to our northeast, Russia. And in this episode, I'm going to discuss my strategy for dealing with Russia, which I'm labeling the Russian destabilization strategy, or more accurately, destabilization of their alliances. If you look at Russia, historians or political scientists will always argue that Russians try to create spheres of influence surrounding their country to sort of buffer them off. Geopolitically, they would like to control this entire northern European plain here. You can see the Carpathian Mountains would be the buffer, the land barrier there, but there are several countries right here that are infringing upon that territory, which makes no natural border between Russia and any potential threats. So in order to deal with these threats, Russia would like to create buffer states like Belarus, or during the Cold War it had the Warsaw Pact states. You can also see there are other buffer states down here. To the south, the Caucasus Mountains give them a border here, but they also have buffer states on the other side of the Caucasus Mountains, and they do have some influence within Georgia. There was a Georgian war, I believe, in 2008, and that left some Russian forces here in the Caucasus regions. To the east, they're bordered by the Ural Mountains, but they also have buffer states with Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. I don't think Turkmenistan is an ally of theirs, but Kyrgyzstan, if I said that right, and Tajikistan are all allies. So these are more buffer states to sort of protect or insulate the Russian nation. And most of the Russians, or the European ethnic Russians, live here west of the Ural Mountains, and this area over here is more Siberian resource-based areas, and it's kind of like part of their empire, to be honest with you. This is more like an extension of, it's huge too, extension of a Russian empire, as opposed to like mother country Russia, which is culturally, ethnically right in this area. This is the Russian that most people know. So the destabilization strategy that I'm going to employ is to try to break up these allies, break up the alliances in dealing with Russia, to try to weaken them. So if you look at, we can take a look at Russia, and we can look at their allies. Where is it? Right down there. We go with all countries. So this is a list of Russian allies right here: Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Armenia, Kyrgyzstan, I don't know if I said that right, Moldova, which is actually on our southwestern border, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and then Georgia and Syria they have non-aggression pacts with, and they are intervening currently in Syria. They have all these rights of passages here, and so they're involved in the Syrian war, which I'm just gonna kind of like stay out of. I think I was thinking about maybe supporting the Kurds, but I'm not sure if I want to do that because they might weaken the total jihad or the jihadist caliphate elements, which are the primary rivals of the Assad regime that Russia is supporting. So I think I'm actually going to try to stay out of Syria and just let them get bogged down there. Georgia, there might end up being a conflict between Russia and Georgia. There was in my series, and in a lot of series, usually Russia goes after Georgia right away. It's an easy grab for anyone playing as Russia. Belarus is another area that is often comes into conflict, either with Poland or with the Ukraine, and that conflict a lot of times sort of spills out into a larger conflict, getting NATO countries involved and Russia involved. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to be spying on all of these countries, and I'm going to try to find evidence of wrongdoing, developing nuclear weapons or buying nuclear weapons or supporting terrorists in different countries. And so I'm going to go ahead and expand my Secret Service spy rings at this point, and we are going to set up new networks. I already have networks in, what countries do I have networks in? I already have networks in Belarus, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and I am going to go ahead and do political spying for Uzbekistan and political spying for Kazakhstan, because if I can get UN mandates against these guys, maybe I can create wars which will end up causing Russia to break the alliance if they don't come in and support. They'll likely, veto most UN security resolutions against them, but maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe somebody else will end up declaring war on these countries, which could cause a major conflict, and maybe Russia will balk at some of those moves. So let's go ahead and create the other territories. And I have my list here. What is it? Azerbaijan right there. We're going to get a network. Alright, so Azerbaijan, we're going to set up a network for political spying. Let's go with 5 for now. Start them off with 5, and then I'll boost them up later. Azerbaijan, Belarus we already have. Armenia, political spying. Creation network there. Country I can't pronounce. Kyrgyzstan. I think that's how you say it. I might be wrong. I should probably forvo that. Moldova. Do I already have people in Moldova? Moldova's interesting too, because there's one, we have pretty decent relations with Moldova. 2, I think I already have spies there. 2, Moldova could be a quick grab. Like, I can amass troops along the border and quickly blitz their capital, possibly before any other country could react. Tajikistan and Uzbekistan, I already have Uzbekistan. Tajikistan. Political spying. So Moldova's interesting. Do I have Moldova? I don't have Moldova. Where's Moldova? Wait a minute. Alright, maybe I started a network there and it just hasn't been established yet in the last episode. I just don't remember. That was a while ago for me. That was a couple days ago, so if I repeat myself, I apologize. Alright, so step number 1 was for me to establish those networks. I still have 9 agents. I'm probably going to pull agents out of... I'm going to keep industrial spying in China and India, but I don't need as many, I guess. I could get lucky with like a nuclear secret, because again, that is one of the other objectives. Setting up a nuclear... or developing a nuclear weapon, which, by the way, that reminds me, I do have to go ahead and fully fund research for nuclear weapons. I've not really dived into the research aspect of this game at all yet in any of my series, but to develop a nuclear bomb, process for making atomic weapons through nuclear reactions, status research projects in progress, technology that will enable you to begin the research is nuclear fission, and the research sectors involved is matter science. So, looks like we already have this. Status acquired, national. Nuclear bomb, status, the project is in progress. So we have to go ahead and, to my understanding, go ahead and fully fund matters of science. I don't think there's any other areas that matter here other than matter sciences. So, matter sciences fully funded will cost us almost $400 million, but that will still keep us, we'll still have gotten a gain from those, the tax bill and the healthcare reform that we had in the last episode. So that's another big change. And that'll hopefully get things started right away. And we'll get closer to our goal of developing a nuclear weapon. Alright, the other issue is East Donbass. I don't know if I went over East Donbass numbers before last time. Let's see here. Real quick, East Donbass has 3.6 million sympathizers, 40,000 fighters, 12,000 mercenaries, 155 tanks, and 360 pickup trucks. My military numbers consist of 67,000 career soldiers, but we can get up to a total of 335 with the number of conscripts that we have. Plus there's a reservist number, which will get us up to 900,000. Now, ranking-wise, they want to go over the rankings real quick. This does put us at 15th, the 15th largest infantry army. We have 700 tanks, which actually, yeah, 700 tanks? I thought I had more than 700 tanks. Let me go into the world rankings real quick, just to give you guys an overview of my position and Russia's position globally as far as the military strength. Militarily, Russia is like overwhelmingly superior to us. If you go into security, we're going to go ahead and look at soldiers. Again, we're 15th when Russia is 4th with 184,000. That doesn't include their reservists, though. Next, I'll show you armed tanks and armed cars. This says 855, where our tanks was at 700. So there's 155. What? I don't know. Is that the tanks that are included in the East Donbass army? Because that would actually add up to 855. That's ridiculous. So we have to kind of settle the issue with East Donbass. Russia has 31,000 tanks and armored cars. 31,000 tanks. That is an insane number. I don't know how we're gonna deal with that. Well, I know how I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna deal with it with missiles, and I'm gonna try to build up missiles. My missile arsenal. Missile launchers. I'm ranked 17th with 263, where the Russians have 3,000. I'm really gonna have to get other people involved in the war to win a war with Russia. To take back that Crimean Peninsula, I'm gonna have to intervene when Russia's at war with like Japan or some European country, or maybe the United States, hopefully. That's when I can take back the Crimean Peninsula. Otherwise, I don't see how else I'm going to be able to do that. There's no peaceful land transfer, really, in this game. There's no method of just buying land from somebody or having like a rebellion rise up and then join and then become annexed, which is kind of how Crimea ended up switching from the Ukraine to Russia. So it would be cool if you could add that into the game. That would be something, recommended to Everism to add some sort of annexation method where they can maybe vote. I know they can vote on independence, but they can't vote on becoming annexed, becoming part of another country. So helicopters were at 18th with 137, and the Russians have 667. That's not as bad. They're third. Next security issue, commandos. I don't think we have 263 commandos. They have 836. I'm not going to probably add too many more commandos. That's going to be that with commandos. I'm not going to increase my foot soldier numbers, but I am going to increase the hardware. The tanks, missile launchers, helicopters, fighter planes. We're at 203. We're 25th. The Russians are at 1,300. They are third. And I am not going to worry too much about my naval forces at all. Drones, they got us on drones. And I'm not going to worry about this too much. Instead, my main focus will be on buying fighter planes, helicopters, missile launchers, and tanks. And massively increasing my missile arsenal. Currently, my missile arsenal is at, and I can't compare it to other countries, unfortunately, but the missile arsenal is pretty small. It's only 1,400, but it doesn't cost too much. And I think I'm going to probably be able to quadruple this with like $1 billion budget increase once I get a surplus. And I'm going to be waiting for a surplus to try to make some purchases. I'm looking at making an arms deal with France as well, possibly some other countries, to start to increase my military arsenal. And I'm not going to be looking for a war with Russia. I will be looking to end this East Donbass situation. And the first way to do that, actually, I don't think it'll work right off the bat, but one way to try to do it would be, they are pink, which is usually means that they're not like, it's not that bad of a situation. So if I propose a peace treaty with them, the type of pact I would want to do, I want to give them independence, since that's not with the goals here. We want to retain that territory. But if I can get them to agree to an end of hostilities and standardization treaty, The rebel organization will disarm and become a legal political party. I am all for that. So let's see if that actually works. I don't think it's going to work, but if it does, it's like a huge coup, and I get the goal right off the bat. If it doesn't, then I will continue to try to infiltrate the organization, such as I'm doing right now, and I will also ask for help in fighting the terrorist group, and that will mostly likely be from allied countries. I don't have any allied countries right now, but I have some major meetings coming up. I'm going to actually click this clock here. I've been talking the whole time. We've got an interest rate from the National Bank Director increase. I think I did it last time. I think I boosted the interest rate up 2%. Should encourage savings with fewer demands, induce deflationary action, which is something we desperately need because the inflation is huge. 45%, and the unemployment is pretty high, and the growth is going down. So the interest rate's going higher does not help the growth, but it does help inflation. And oh, look at that research bump! Nice. Electoral map. Yes. Do I have an electoral?
We now have an
I don't know. There's the electoral map. Okay, so that's the electoral map for the Ukraine. And my party is what again? I forget. My party is the Union of the Democratic Right. Right-wing party. Conservative Liberal. That's us. We don't really have the majority, actually. Okay, so I don't know if that's... we've got something going on here. Agreement negotiation from the East Donbass leader. They have refused. Okay, so it's going to be a fight with them. Alright, we have some meetings coming up with people this week. We're going to try to get some endorsements. Champagne. For you. You are charming. And I do not want you to become my mistress.
Very kind of you.
But I'll give you a compliment. And then you need to give me a compliment.
Okay, if it makes you happy.
And let's go ahead and get her to take out a party card with us.
Okay.
There it is.
If
Nice.
it makes you happy.
She is now a member of the Union of the Democratic Right. Very good. Oldest person in the world. Good to go. Alright, that should boost our popularity. Physics and chemistry. This is going to be interesting. Getting some new technologies. I've never gotten that before. Alright, what else did I want to do? I did spy networks. Oh, keep the clock running. Gotta get through some of these endorsement meetings. Speed it up. And we've got a bill that is going to be passed. Oh, here comes something. Family?
Do you think it's reasonable?
I should have looked at her alcohol ability.
Yes.
Charming. Compliment.
It's very kind of you.
And speak highly of me in public.
Okay.
That should be good. Laws in progress. Alright, so we're going to have, I think it's a 2% company tax. Yeah, look at that statement. Huge bump there. We're going to get to 100% popularity very quickly.
That's really
Speak highly of me in public.
okay.
Alright, so company tax, I think it was 1% or 2%? 1%, I think this one is.
Ooh. It's very kind of you. Okay.
Okay. 1% tax on company turnover, which next month I think I'm going to boost it like 2%. That's like $1 billion.
I'd be happy to. You're too kind. Okay.
And then the pornography tax, which seals the deal basically. See the details on this. 57%. Alright, let's slow things down or pause. This bill is good to go. It should pass on the 12th, which is tomorrow. And that should help. I have a meeting with the German Chancellor. Alright, that is about 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.